Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Thomas Expert Series, and thank you all for joining us today. We're going to get started in just a minute. In the meantime, if you could double check and make sure your microphone is muted. This expert series will be on demand within 24 hours, so please let your colleagues know how much you enjoyed the talk today. To get everyone started, I want to see where everyone is tuning in from. Got New Hampshire. I'm in New Jersey. Where are you at, Angela?
I am in Jersey too.
Nice. We've got Atlanta, California, Indianapolis, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, more California. Cool. All right. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Anshula here to talk about maximizing pipette recycling, exploring pipette tip recycling in the lab.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Heather. Let me get my slides loaded and we will get into it. So let me know when you guys can see.
You just might want to put, there you go.
Are we good?
Yep. Looks good.
Okay, and you can hear me still, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So thank you again. Welcome, everyone. Thanks, Heather, for inviting me to share some information with you and the team on exploring tip recycling in the lab. And I am super excited to be here sharing this information with you all today. So let's take a quick look at our agenda. So I'd like to start a little bit by talking about sustainability in general. Then we'll focus in on lab plastics and tips and a little bit of an overview of sustainability at Thermo Fisher Scientific. And then we'll follow this up by a deeper dive into pipette tip recycling program that we're introducing. And then we'll open it up for some Q&A. All right. So sustainability, I know we hear it every single day. We hear it on the news. We talk a lot about it. Everyone is really into sustainability, but what is it? So sustainability is the concept of meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So it really does involve a balanced approach that has several facets like environmental, social, economic factors, aiming to create a harmonious relationship between them. So taking a look at conservation of resources, this is a responsible use of energy, water, raw material, and it's really crucial for their long-term availability as well. So by implementing sustainable practices, we can ensure the efficient utilization of resources, and this includes optimizing energy consumption. It could be reducing water waste, also minimizing the use of raw materials through recycling and reusing. And then we have environmental protection. So this would be related to minimizing pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change. And these are all key objectives in the pursuit of a sustainable future. So this could involve implementing eco-friendly practices into our operations, such as reducing greenhouse gas emissions and implementing waste management systems. We also have a social responsibility, and that is promoting fairness, human rights, worker safety, and community development. These are all an integral part of our responsibility as well. And this involves engaging in community development initiatives, supporting local communities, which also foster social progress and inclusivity. So when we take a look at some of our sustainability concerns, what do we see here? So as I've mentioned lab plastics, but plastics in general, as we all know, we see this on a daily basis, cause a lot of environmental pollution, especially when not properly managed. They can end up in oceans, rivers, landfills. All of this will end up harming wildlife, ecosystems, and different habitats. So the production of plastic requires the extraction of finite sources, right, such as fossil fuels. So as plastic waste accumulates, it leads to more depletion of these valuable resources. Plastic waste takes up a significant amount of landfill space as well, right? So landfills are not a sustainable long-term solution, and limited availability of space again poses challenges for waste management and disposal. So it really just sets you up for a vicious cycle. And we all know we hear this again on the news every time some research or the other comes out that plastics can be broken down into smaller particles known as microplastics, and these can be ingested by marine life. They also enter our food chain and potentially causing health with issues with human health. So the extraction of fossil fuels for plastic production and the incineration of the same plastic waste both release a lot of carbon dioxide and other harmful greenhouse gases, which contribute to climate change. So we looked at a broader plastics issue. Now let's take a look a little closer to home in our industry and the use of a lot of single-use plastics. So single-use plastics are generally defined by disposable plastics meant for one-time use. They can also be recycled in many cases. And we see this every day in our day-to-day activities. We have pipette tips, gloves, petri dishes, packaging material, disposable test tubes, beakers, containers, single-use bioreactors, and it's a very long list of products that we're all familiar with and that we use and sell to our customers every single day. So what is the importance and utility of these single-use plastics? Well, there is a reason why we use them and why they are very important in the work we do. Oftentimes our work involves sterility, precision, contamination prevention, and this is of utmost importance in many, many applications that we see. They also provide unmatched convenience and cost effectiveness, and there is a widespread use of those. So daily operations from simple lab procedures to complex biomanufacturing processes all require single-use plastics at some level or the other. So what are some of the sustainability challenges that these could pose? Again, I know we covered some, but specifically looking at these again, it has a significant environmental impact. So substantial volume of plastic waste globally, right? Challenges with disposal, again, due to complex plastic composite. They're made of many different kinds of resins, which will all, biodegrade at or not degrade at different rates. So it really causes a lot of complexities. Again, we deal with a lot of biohazardous samples, which cause contamination as well. And then there are the long-term concerns as well with this. We have, upon incineration, harmful pollutants, greenhouse gases are all released, right? So again, that contributes to climate change. And again, as I mentioned, the landfill issues that we have, accumulation of non-biodegradable materials that can contaminate soil and water as they build up. So when we take a look at single-use plastic waste, we can see that it is a global problem. So globally, this data was from 2015, so it's a little bit old, but if you extrapolate it and think about it in terms of 2024, so in 2015, 27 billion pounds entered our oceans. And that is a lot, a staggering number of plastics. And only 9% of that is recyclable. 12 billion pounds was just discarded by labs. I mean, that is a huge number. And that, again, as I mentioned, is in 2015. So labs do generate a lot of plastic waste. So what is the, now we're going to focus it down further from single use to now we're going to focus on tips. So what is the global outlook for tips? And tips are used across every single application at every bench. Liquid handling is an essential tool for every lab, whether it be academic, pharma, biotech, industry, everyone uses pipettes and pipette tips, right? So what is the global outlook for tips? Currently, the global market was valued around 2.15 billion in 2023. And for this year, it's around 2.34 billion. That's a huge number. And not only that, we're seeing large increases in tip usage as well. So some of the key drivers for that are constant innovation. Companies are trying to come out with newer products, newer designs, different kinds of system tips. So there's constant innovation happening in our industry. And also in healthcare settings, and diagnostic capabilities are growing by leaps and bounds. And there's an increasing number of liquid handling systems also in play. And we've seen for pipette tips an escalated demand due to COVID-19, and even post-COVID, there's still an increase in demand. And again, there are so many different kinds of tips that are in the market now. You know, you have anywhere from filtered, low retention, standard, and all of these are, again, constantly undergoing a lot of innovation. There's also been an increase in robotic tips, as the robotic handlers have also increased, as I mentioned before. So there's a lot of usage of these tips, and this is going to continuously increase as the growth continues. So again, expected to grow to a CAGR of 8.35% by 2028, and it's going to go up to around $3.9 billion in just tips, which is staggering. So all this demand is growth is also shifting the focus to sustainability. So sustainability is coming more and more into the limelight as we see how much usage there actually is. So the way that it looks now is that manufacturers are removing forever chemicals from their tips using more sustainable resins to reduce their environmental impact. And we're also looking for ways to improve our recycling options that we have for plastics that we're currently using. So in this case, we do need to align better with increasing environmental concerns and with responsible manufacturing practices with the ultimate aim to reduce waste. With that, I do want to mention our corporate social responsibility at Thermo Fisher Scientific. It starts with our mission to enable our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Today's focus is around environment, so where we are innovating to serve our customers while actively minimizing our own global footprint. And we are committed to creating a sustainable future for all of the stakeholders. And at Thermo Fisher, our approach to environmental sustainability is always grounded in science with a focus on our customers. So that we have three areas of focus: our commitment to achieve our goals to reduce emissions, our role in protecting nature. That's why we're committed to preserving freshwater resources and managing waste. And again, investing in innovation to not only design and develop the highest performing products, but also minimize the environmental impact of our products and packaging wherever possible. So to that end, we are trying to make recycling more simple for our Thermo branded pipette tips. So we launched a new recycle program, which we are very excited about for Thermo branded pipette tips. This can help simplify recycling of art and soft fit L pipette tips, which can then help reduce plastic waste going into landfills. It's also an excellent way to educate customers and help support their green initiatives and goals. And it's not just us, our customers also have goals that they have to reach. Those accounts have to reach the same sustainability goals. So this goes towards their goals as well. So it's not just for us. So this program also allows you to measure recycling performance and provide you with sustainability metrics. A prepaid label is also provided to ship everything back to the recycler. So a little more detail on this in the next slide. So it is a pretty simple program. It allows you to not only recycle non-biohazardous pipette tips, but also tip boxes and associated plastic packaging. I know there are a couple of programs and companies out there, but I believe not many of them take back tips. This program does allow for tip recycling as well. It's divided into three main parts, mainly where we collect the used tips and packaging and boxes, pack and ship. So here all we do is collect your non-biohazardous tips into a cardboard shipping box, which comes with a plastic liner bag. Keep discarding tips into that, as well as wafers and any of the boxes. Once the box is full, you can pack it. There's a provided zip tie. Just tie the box. You close the box securely. And there's a prepaid FedEx label that can be used to ship the box out. So the most important thing here to remember is just that the plastics must be free of liquids, as well as any biohazardous material cannot be on them. And that is pretty much the only requirement for that. So once the tips and boxes are sent out, what happens to the plastic? So this is the fun part of the program. We've partnered with Triumvirate Environmental, who does all of the recycling for this program. They take the plastic and they convert it into shipping pallets. As you can see the image on here, these pallets typically last 20 times longer than wooden pallets, and they're resistant to acids and corrosive materials. They're super easy to clean. And again, nothing really grows on them either, unlike with the wooden pallets that, can go bad in water once they get wet and everything. So this definitely prevents that. There's no chipping, and they also adhere to an ISO 8611 standard and available in a couple of different load capacities. So if you are interested in seeing a little more about this program and what happens and how the pallets are, you can check it out on our website, thermofisher.com/light pallet. We ship our products to our customers all the time, and there's always product moving. So this recycled lumber, as we call it, really helps in creating the useful products and gives the recycled plastic another purpose. So this recycling program really helps to create value in closing the loop. So you can recycle, the pipette tip boxes, turn them into useful products. So how are we closing the loop with this? So just following through the diagram, we have scientists that do the research, they generate a lot of tip waste. This is then collected and sent to the recycler, where the material is then treated and it is shredded to form pellets. So these little plastic pellets are then recycled into making those pallets that we use for shipping. Other products are also made from these plastic lumber. You have playground equipment, you can have park benches. So there's a lot of use for those plastic lumber that's created from recycling products. So the products are repurposed and reused into something useful for society, and all that plastic is kept out of landfills. So again, the pallet may then be used to ship additional products to the customers, again, closing that loop. So this is in essence the recycling program that we have, and we are very happy to say that we are introducing it through Thomas Scientific, and hopefully it'll be set up in your system soon, so you shall be able to take advantage of it. So with that, in closing, I would like to emphasize the importance of addressing the issue of single-use plastic waste in our industry. I know during this talk, we explored the environmental impact of disposable plastics. We discussed the significance of sustainability in our practices. We've also taken a proactive approach to tackle this challenge through our tip recycling program. By implementing this program, we aim to close the loop and contribute to circular economy by transforming some of the lab plastic waste into something that actually benefits society and reduces some amount of plastic entering into landfills. And with that, I would really, really like to thank you for attending today, and I look forward to your support for our tip recycling program once it's implemented, and together we can make a difference. And as we move forward, let's continue to work together and advocate for sustainable practices, explore different kinds of innovative solutions, and strive for a greener, more sustainable future. So with that, I'm going to open it up for any kind of questions. And let me...
I actually have a question. It says the tips should be free of liquids,
Yes.
hazardous chemicals, and biohazardous material. So that takes away a lot of tips, right? Especially free of liquids, okay, hazardous, biohazardous, and hazardous chemicals, I can understand. Free of liquids, is there a range
There is absolutely a range. So the
Okay.
program, it comes with a FAQ sheet, which has the guidelines for the amount of liquid that's allowable, after which point, yeah. So it's definitely there.
That helps.
Yes, great point.
Because
great point.
Yeah, it won't be ever completely free of liquid. So yeah, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So right now, okay, I can see the question here. Question, okay, is it possible that other manufacturer tips can we put into the recycling box? At this point in time, we are not accepting other manufacturers' tips, and that's because the agreement that we have with Triumvirate Environmental requires us to know exactly the material, the resin that's been used for manufacturing the tips. We can only, with 100% guarantee, say that for our tips, but not other manufacturers. So we have to be very careful what gets shipped to them. So it's only thermo-branded tips because we know what the resin that we're working with for that. I'm not able to recycle tips at my account. So yeah, there are some accounts where tip recycling is not allowed. So for that, I would still recommend talking about the program because we still accept the boxes, the wafers, and the plastic packaging. So a lot of plastic goes into the packaging and the boxes as well. So it's still a very viable program for those accounts as well. Is this available? Not for international customers right now. See what's one of the caveats is it's only available for the 48 contiguous states, and that's because the recycler. This is the limitations due to the recycler. We can only send it to certain places for recycling, and Triumvirate has places where they do the designated recycling. So it's not open. It's not even open to Canada, unfortunately, at this time. But hopefully one day we will get there too.
Is Thermo currently shipping on these pallets?
That's a great question. I know they are sold. It's possible we are. I don't know for sure 100%, but that's something I can look into.
Thank you.
If I lose my waiver. So we do have on our website, we do have a downloadable waiver form as well. So if you do lose a waiver that comes with the kit, you should be able to download another one from there. But I highly recommend that you keep track of the shipping kit because I don't think we can replace the FedEx shipping label, but we can certainly replace the waiver.
Hey, and Shirley, would you mind reminding us what's included in the recycle kit and in
Yeah,
that part
absolutely.
number?
Yes. So it comes in a cardboard box. The box is going to, so the SKUs that we have currently designated come with the tips. So you can get a number of art SKUs or soft fit L SKUs. So a case of the tips in a cardboard box along with all the shipping material. So the FedEx label, the zip tie, the plastic bag, and the waiver all come inside this. We call it a kit because it really has everything in there. So it's a great way to get the customer to use the tips, as well as have all of the information on hand to use the same box to send it back. So you don't need another box. You don't need anything else. It is the same box that you receive the product in that you can send it back out for recycling.
So mechanically, the way this is going to work is I'm going to be setting up unique part numbers on the system for these tips with recycle program, and there'll be a it's not like you're ordering using the same part number you might be used to for the tips. This will be a new part number for the same
There's an
tips
extension.
with the
Yeah.
extension of the program tied
Yes.
onto it. Yes. So those are going to be onboarded very shortly.
Glad to hear it. That's fantastic.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for just 1 second in case anyone has another question, so they can go ahead and type it out. So a lot of the material that was talked about today will be in the Thermo kiosk. So within the literature, the web links, as well as the videos. And Thermo also currently has a lab. So if you toggle over to the lab section, you'll see Thermo, and you can come and hang out in here and check out all of the products that they're featuring in here as well. Back over to the expert series. This talk will be on demand within 24 hours, so you can hang out in here and check out all of the other talks that are on demand as well. And let's see if anyone else put any other questions, and it doesn't look like it.
Heather, one more thing before we conclude. I would like to introduce Sarah Marsh as well, who is our new channel manager for Thomas Scientific. And you guys will be seeing a lot of Sarah going forward. So hi, Sarah. Glad to have you here.
Yes, thanks, Anshula, and thank you for the presentation. Yeah, just quickly wanted to introduce myself as the new channel manager for you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm based in Pittsburgh. I have been with the overall company for almost 9 years now. I came from the Fish Scientific Channel side, and I believe I'm on my 4th week. So I'm really looking forward to working with everyone. And like I said, any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
All right. I think that is everything. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Have a nice
And-
weekend.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Heather.
Thank you so much,
Great
Sarah, for
presentation.
joining us today.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Thank you.
Sarah.
Great job. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.